What's up, guys? Back with another video, and today we are looking at the article by, Bounding Into Comics. Today, it says, Wildlight Entertainment CEO says, toxicity is challenging surrounding Highguard. Unsure if skipping the Game Awards would have improved reception. I doubt that. Let's get into it. We already know that at the Game Awards, they decided, or Geoff Keighley decided to have this game at the end of the Game Awards, the big showcase, everyone's waiting for this game to come out, and Highguard happens to come. So now they're kind of regretting it. Or are they? I just don't think it's going to make any difference. I explained this in my other video. Check it out. Let's see what this article has to say. In reflecting on the current state of Highguard, at the end of its first full week of availability, Wildlight Entertainment CEO Dusty Welch says that while he's well aware of the game's extremely poor reception, which is true, he's unsure whether the public temperature would have been any different had they chosen to decline Geoff Keighley's invitation to have their work headline last year's edition of the Game Awards. I don't think so. And yes, I know his name is Jeff. I like to call him Geoff. It's just the way it's spelled. I don't think it's going to make any difference. I don't think it made a difference. The game is not good. The reviews are in. People are not liking the game. I understand that people can review bomb, but it doesn't seem like that's really going on with this game. Obviously, there are trolls out there that just want to hate things because everyone else is hating it. But in this situation, I don't think so. Of course, one of the studio's several ex-Respawn founders, Welch, weighed in on the general Highguard disclosure during a recent interview given to Bloomberg. Reporter was Jason Schreier. Asked about the near-endless criticism being leveled towards the game, from its gameplay being unsatisfying to its maps feeling completely lifeless. We think the game as it is right now is super fun, super honed for 3v3. Glad you like it. That's great. But we've also designed and play tested different play counts. I would not discount the opportunity to have different things happening in the game very soon. Is there going to be a game very soon? Who's still playing this? They have like updates they're planning on coming out with. I don't know. Is there like a year thing? Like they have a whole thing they're gonna come out with, like something planned for the next 2 years? I sure hope not. If they really gambled on this. To this end, later asked by Schreier as to whether he regretted announcing Highguard at the Game Awards instead of shadow dropping it, which I think it would have been better shadow dropping it. However, I don't think it's going to change the game. The game isn't good as they originally planned. So they originally planned to shadow drop this game. That's very interesting. Welch admitted that at the end of the day, he was unable to give a direct answer as he was still mulling over the entire situation, telling his host, "That's an incredibly fair question. And it's one I ask myself quite a bit." I bet you do. It's one that I'm going to continue to ask myself for a period of time. If we are wildly successful, I will still ask myself that because I'm interested in the business side and how we communicate with the players and press. Well, it's not successful. Here we go. The toxicity is challenging. Yeah, you have to deal with it, but okay. And it's debatable whether we would have more or less or the same by doing the Game Awards. If there was going to be a difference, in my opinion, it would have been very, very small if they did not go to the Game Awards. If they just dropped this game and it was still the same game, nothing's changed, I don't think it would have made any difference. Maybe it's a little worse that you decided to make it at the Game Awards while everyone's watching and you did it at the very end. I still think Geoff Keighley, or they paid Geoff Keighley to do that. Popular opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. He says, I don't know, and we'll never know the answer to that. I do, kinda, but I think that's the angle that has to be considered going forward for anyone in game development. Okay. So you got to take that risk if you want to succeed, and we're happy to be out here taking that risk. Yeah, sure you are. And then there'll be a case study someday. Oh, there'll be one. Just talk to Concord, and check out Concord. Yeah, there's a great case study on that one. I'm sure you can find some funny videos on that, which I'll love to be part of. I don't know what you're going to be part of that, but the Game Awards, why or why not? And I think that'll be fascinating for all of us to learn. So he's saying that maybe there'll be a case study on if the failure of this game was due to it being announced at the Game Awards. I think it's small. I don't think it's that big of a deal. So, scrolling on, he says, let me see here. I think ultimately we could have made a different trailer. Dude, a better trailer that wasn't about entertaining, which is what we think was about. So he goes on saying that we could have made a different trailer. What, dude? It's the game is the game. What is a trailer going to make the game differently? A different trailer? What does that mean? That's going to change the entire game? What was it going to look like? How were you going to change the trailer? So that's on us. We take that, but the team is resilient. There you go. I don't know, man. I pulled up Highguard, and looking at it now, the reviews are mixed. So I think that's better than it was before. I think it was mostly negative, it said. So it's mixed. You got people ups and downs. Looks like good ups, but a lot of downs. A lot. It's honestly, one guy says it's honestly not that bad. I wish there was more of an in the middle option here on Steam. That's needed to be a thing for decades. So he's kind of in the middle about it. But who knows? That's really it, guys. I don't really know what to say anymore about this game. I think it's dead. I think it's gonna stay dead, and that's really it. I hope they don't have a whole long future for this game, because I don't know where it's gonna go. I think it's gonna die. Look at Concord. Oof. Hopefully they can recover from this. We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, and share, and have a great day. Bye.